This whole story, this entire global empire, it all starts with a simple 15-cent hamburger. And it's the story of how that hamburger became one of the most dominant, powerful, and controversial corporations on the entire planet.
So, just to understand the sheer scale we're talking about, let's start with this number. There are over 41,000 McDonald's locations around the world. That is more than Burger King, Wendy's, Taco Bell, and Arby's combined.
And you want to know how many people those locations serve? Every single day. 70 million. That is like the entire population of the United Kingdom lining up for burgers and fries daily.
Which of course all adds up to this absolutely staggering number, $130 billion in sales across the whole system every year. Get this, the Golden Arches are literally more recognized globally than the Christian cross.
So the big question is, how? How does a single roadside stand in the middle of the California desert build a global empire like that? Well, the story you've probably heard, it's not the whole story, not even close. This is how it really happened.
All right, Section 1, the founders versus the founder. Vision versus ambition, because the real story begins with this fundamental conflict. It's not about a single founder. It's a clash between the guys who created it and the guy who conquered it.
See, the original creators were Richard and Maurice McDonald, and their genius was this thing right here, the speedy service system. They literally shut down their own profitable barbecue joint and rebuilt their kitchen to work like a Ford factory assembly line. Every single burger, every fry was perfect in 30 seconds. They didn't just make a better restaurant, they literally invented the entire fast food industry. And this is where you see the huge difference in how they thought about things. The McDonald brothers, they'd already made it. They were making great money, buying a brand new Cadillac every single year. They were happy. Their vision was complete. But then, a 52-year-old, kind of struggling milkshake machine salesman named Ray Kroc walks in. And he didn't see a great restaurant. He saw a global system that could be copied over and over and over again. And if you want to understand just how huge his ambition was, listen to his own words about McDonald's. He didn't just see a place to get a burger. He saw the Golden Arches becoming a new American institution, as common as the flag or the local church.
So by 1961, this clash finally came to a head. Kroc and the brothers, who were obsessed with quality, just couldn't work together anymore. He offered to buy them out for $2.7 million. They agreed, but they wanted one more thing, a 0.5% royalty forever. The story goes Kroc blew up, but eventually he agreed, on a handshake. So after the deal, the brothers kept their original location and just renamed it the Big M. So what did Ray Kroc do? He opened a brand new McDonald's just 1 block away and drove the Big M completely out of business.
And that handshake deal, the family claims they never saw a single dime. Today, that 0.5% royalty would be worth over $300 million every single year.
Okay, so Kroc has full control of the company now. But here's the crazy part. He was totally broke. The tiny franchise fee he was collecting barely covered his costs, and the whole company was on the verge of collapsing. Then he got one piece of advice that changed everything. The advice came from this financial wizard named Harry Sonneborn, and it was so simple. He told him, "Ray, you're not in the burger business, you're in the real estate business." And that was the secret key to the entire empire.
See, the old model was a failure, so Kroc started the new one. The McDonald's Corporation would buy the physical piece of land for every new restaurant. Then, they would lease it back to the franchisee at a massive markup, on top of all the other fees. Suddenly, the burgers weren't the product anymore. They were just the engine that guaranteed franchisees could pay their rent to Kroc.
So this real estate pivot made the company invincible. But here's the next big secret. Ray Kroc and his corporate team in Chicago, they didn't invent a single one of McDonald's most famous menu items. Nope, they all came from the very franchisees who were paying him rent.
Check this out. It's like the Franchisee Hall of Fame. The filet-o-fish, the Big Mac, the Egg McMuffin, even the Happy Meal. All of them were created by operators out in the field solving local problems, and a lot of times they did it against corporate's wishes. The system was top-down, but the soul of the menu was totally ground up.
Oh, and the filet-o-fish story is fantastic. In 1962, a Cincinnati franchisee named Lou Gruen saw his sales plummet every Friday in his heavily Catholic neighborhood. So he invented a fish sandwich. Ray Kroc hated it. He proposed his own idea instead, the hula burger. It was a slice of grilled pineapple on a bun. No, I'm not kidding. So they made a bet on one Friday. The filet-o-fish sold 350. The hula burger? It sold 6.
Then you've got Herb Peterson in Santa Barbara. He wanted to crack the breakfast market, so he invented a handheld version of Eggs Benedict. He called it the Egg McMuffin. Kroc loved it, and that single idea launched an entire breakfast menu that now accounts for a full 25% of all of McDonald's sales.
Now, getting this big didn't just bring in profits. It brought intense public scrutiny. And that's created this constant battle between McDonald's carefully crafted, family-friendly image and the sometimes harsh realities of its business.
I'm sure you've heard of the infamous hot coffee lawsuit. You probably think of it as the poster child for people suing over nothing, right? Well, that popular story is a myth.
Here's the first fact that the media stories usually left out. Before 79-year-old Stella Liebeck ever spilled her coffee, McDonald's had already received over 700 complaints from other customers about being severely burned.
And here's why. It was company policy to serve the coffee at a near-boiling 180 to 190 degrees Fahrenheit. That is hot enough to cause third-degree burns in seconds. Liebeck needed skin grafts. She initially just asked McDonald's to cover her medical bills. You know what they offered her? $800. The jury wasn't punishing a spill. They were punishing corporate indifference.
And remember the documentary Super Size Me? It sparked a global firestorm over fast food and health. McDonald's publicly denied the film had any influence on them, but just 6 weeks after it premiered, they, coincidentally of course, discontinued their supersize option. They are masters of weathering the storm.
So, what's the secret to their empire today? Well, they've evolved. It's not just about leasing land anymore. The new foundation is this number, 175 million. That's how many people use their loyalty app, giving McDonald's direct access to all of our ordering habits. That data lets them personalize offers and drive sales in a way that's just as powerful as owning the street corner.
So when you look at it all, the McDonald's empire was built on a brilliant system, which was hijacked by an ambitious salesman, funded by a secret real estate business, and powered by franchisee genius. So what do you think is the most shocking part of the real story? The stolen royalties, the real estate secret, or the fact that we were this close to getting a pineapple hula burger instead of the filet-o-fish?